Welcome back to Round by Round. You're here with the Fight Doctor, coming to bring you some good news on a situation that's been transpiring for the past 4 or 5 years. Well, this is the Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao fight, and last night on Showbox, Steve Farhood was questioning Floyd on his next event and what's going to be the echelon of this next event, whether it's Keith Thurman, who's calling Floyd Mayweather out, or like everybody else is, or is it going to be Manny Pacquiao? What's the deal? I want to be on the record to say this because I've been on the record several times. There are no ghosts in the sport of boxing. There's no man running around afraid of another man. Men in boxing make business decisions. Is this guy worth the takeaway? Are the risks worth the rewards? So on and so forth. There's business decisions. It's like in football, if you see someone going heads up with Adrian Peterson, or if you see someone going heads up with Marshawn Lynch and they decide to just kind of fall before they get to him, it's a business decision. Or if a receiver catches a ball and he sees someone like a Ray Lewis type coming to tackle him, he goes down. You know, Michael Irvin's been on the record saying stuff like that. I used to see Ronnie Lott coming. When I catch it, I'm down, I roll. Because it's a business decision. It's not about fear. When you fight every day, there's no fear. So I'm going to segue that into what my takeaway from that situation was. When Steve Farhood came to Floyd Mayweather and he spoke to him, Steve Farhood is a shrewd commentator, meaning he knows the sport of boxing. He's around the sport of boxing. In my eyes, he's carrying the likes of a Burt Sugar. Of course, Burt Sugar was brash, rough around the edges, and knew his boxing. And he breathed the sport of boxing in his lungs. You could feel it in his breath. Steve Farhood was on the record and asking, and he was straightforward, and he gave Floyd Mayweather the opportunity to clear his name. And at that moment, Floyd Mayweather took that opportunity at hand. For the first real time, Floyd decided to let people know the story live on television and not behind the scenes in an interview, that they're going to chop up and dice up Stephen A. Smith's, even though Stephen always is on the record doing the right thing, keeping the sport of boxing alive. Even when he had his show years ago, I still had him on VHS because I used to record him, and we need more of that. So if anyone knows how to get this to Stephen A., you need to let them know that you got to get that show back on, because we need more support in the sport of boxing. Coming from TFD, the Fight Doctor. Appreciate your love, because I know you're doing your thing. Now, back on the Manny Pacquiao situation. Floyd was very vocal about letting him know and letting the world know that it has been Bob Arum in the way. And as Floyd has become a shrewd businessman over the past decade, the fact that Bob Arum was his mentor in business and in boxing, Floyd turned the gun on him and took over the business. And I think those bitter feelings created a small rivalry, and it's lasts till this day here. But now that the event has grown larger than any kind of negotiation, even Bob Arum can't really stand in the way. And Floyd was on the record saying that if Bob Arum would have stepped out of the way, this is about a week and a half ago, that the fight can get done, because Floyd is definitely going to have the fight on his terms, and that's just part of being the A side. Manny Pacquiao, since the fight has been announced, has lost 2 fights. Manny Pacquiao, well, like I said, only lost 1 fight. The only thing that has been said and noted since this situation, though, you know, you got to stay with me here, is that Manny Pacquiao, his pay-per-view numbers have been rocked, and Floyd always takes that route out when it comes down to, he needs me. And that's the truth. And Floyd could use Manny to make the next big super fight because no one wants to see anything else, you know? So we're going to get right to the meat of this situation right here. So hold your horses, because at the end of the day right now, what you found, as I said before at the beginning of this show, that there are no one in this sport believes in ghosts, meaning there is no fear going on. Yeah, there are business decisions going on, but there's no fear. When you get in the ring and you hit people, since being a child, you're not scared to get hit. So all these fanboys that run around here talking certain fighters are scared of certain fighters, you're crazy. People aren't even scared of Triple G. They just don't want to make that wrong business decision because they feel like they can't bring enough to the ring to get a decision, or they don't want to get knocked out. That don't mean they're afraid. They get hit every day. They get dropped in sparring, bloodied up. The roughest matches are in the sparring. You ever been in the belly of the beast? Have you ever went to a boxing gym, laced them up, worked on the bag for 3 rounds? You don't even want to do that with a coach standing over you. So when these guys are being conditioned to do that for decades, what makes you think they're scared of another fighter? Another day, it's another day. It's the tougher fighters are in the gym, not in the freaking pay-per-view event. These just the guys that made it to the pinnacle. You know, basketball players that are at the park right now dunking from the nutsack, but that don't mean they're in the NBA. Rutgers Park, Skip to my Lou. You know what I'm saying? These guys are the real deal. Yeah, they could break your ankles. It doesn't matter if you're in the NBA. NBA is the most structured form of organized play. So is the NFL, and so is professional boxing. But that doesn't mean these guys run around scared of anybody. So my takeaway of the fight and this situation was Floyd was emotional during this interview. And for those who haven't seen it, you can check it in the playlist. So go down to my channel. You probably need to subscribe and hit that and go to the playlist, and I have it as Mayweather versus Pacquiao. And I did that just for you because I know everyone needs to see what that looks like. So don't be lazy. Do what you need to do, because the fight doctor is going to bring it to you in a raw form and in a rare format. He was very emotional on the record saying this, and he was, for the first time I saw him rattled that Bob Arum had been the culprit in preventing this fight from happening. And I think, now, this is my life. I've been in this world. I've been in this sport. I've been in that forum. So I know how negotiations go. When you don't have leverage, which Floyd Mayweather loves to control, when you do not have the leverage, you can't really talk, because you know you are going to do what you need to do to get that victory. And whenever Bob Arum would be in the way, Floyd knew that he couldn't call him out really hard, because it'll run Bob away, because Bob has been around Floyd for a long time. He's seen Floyd do work. And inside he knows that Floyd Mayweather is not these other guys that Manny's been in the ring with. I like Manny Pacquiao, and he looked amazing. But Floyd Mayweather is an undefeated fighter who's fought in over 20 plus champions, not fighters. Not Chris Algieri's. You know, these guys, Floyd's been in there with the likes of the roughest, most rugged individuals that have ever laced him up. So regardless of what you say and what you think of him, he's done what he's needed to do. There's nobody that can take what he's done away from him. And if you're a fan or not, I call it like I see it. I don't care about what you think. I just call the sport, and I ain't biased. Because when I called Manny Pacquiao last fight, sure, anybody could see people were hitting those posts like it was chewing gum, because I called it like it was. So if you are soft inside and you can't take reality, you don't need to listen to Master Boxing. You need to go to another channel that's going to soften you up and hate on fighters. This ain't what we do over here. We break the fight world down round by round. You talking to the fight doctor, and all I'm going to do is give you that raw, because I'm from the inside of the sport and trying to give it to you from the other side. And Bob Arum had been standing in the way of that event. And Floyd Mayweather, you can feel the emotion. You can feel when he said, I offered him $40 million years ago, and now they want the same deal after they turned that one down. That's not going to happen. That's rightfully so. You know, you wouldn't do it. If someone offered you some money and then you offer someone money and they turned it down, and then later you wanted to do the same situation, but they wanted the same money? No, you had the opportunity to get that money. That's where the leverage starts to get rocky. And people like Bob Arum, the ego gets in the way. We want this fight to happen as fans. Now look at you. This fight's about to happen. You can taste it. Do you think people who are saying, oh, I don't even want to see the fight now, you think they backing away now? No, because the wave is here. And now that the fight has already gotten into negotiations, Floyd feels like it's so far along now, they can't come up with an excuse. So he felt obligated to let people know. And I feel like that's been the whole thing the whole time. And Manny Pacquiao has utilized that, what we call that stereotypical Floyd is scared. He allowed that to give him some form of momentum. He even made a commercial about Floyd. And Floyd just is not going to allow someone to play him that far that way. As being an African American, one thing we pride is our pride and our ego. And it was just outlandish that Floyd allowed that to go on for so long. Manny Pacquiao is a great fighter, and I'm going to get to Manny because Manny is a great fighter. Manny brings a lot to the table, and it's going to be an amazing fight. It just won't be a big event. It won't just be something that was hyped. This is going to be a great fight. It's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows in that fight. Believe you me, this is not just a dance they're going to. They're going to the prom for real. It's going down May 2nd. Believe me. That guy, when he says the fight going down, it's going down. You listening to the Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching. And y'all know this is Master Boxing. And this is where we break the fight world down, baby. Round by round. Now, before you click that button, I want you guys to pick who you're gonna pick. Put it on the record. Follow us on Facebook, Group Master Boxing, and let's see what your boxing knowledge is all about. I'm about to be out, but I want to see somebody, and I want to see the traction and the reaction from what Floyd Mayweather said last night at the fights. Peace.